What's up again, everybody? It's the best of my recollection. And this one's about the time I met Big Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's the drummer. He plays the drums. Now, Chad Smith went to my high school, graduated in 1980 from Lasser High in Bloomfield Hills. He played in some bands around Detroit for a while, and then he ended up moving out to Los Angeles, where he tried out for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He got in the band, recorded the album that really took off for him, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, but before that, played on the record Mother's Milk, which was a pretty good record. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers, in my opinion, like most bands, their early stuff was good and the rest of it sucks. That's just where I stand on that band. So when I was in high school, I was friends with some kids in the grade below me because they were in a couple different bands and they were like into punk rock music and stuff. I did play the drums at the time, but I wasn't very good. They had this band, Vigilante Cauliflower. Well, they started this side band called Grout, and it was kind of a hard industrial band. And in that band, I had a percussion thing that I built. It consisted of a bicycle frame, an ironing board with a bunch of metal pieces clamped onto it, and I would like pound it with the drumsticks. It was pretty cool. We played in the cafeteria at school, some parties here and there. We found out that Chad Smith was in town, and he was going to be playing a drum solo up at McCourt's Music in Pontiac. And we thought it would be cool to get an interview with him maybe for the school paper. And so the plan was for us to go up to McCourt's Music and, get to talk to him. Well, even before that happened, we had band practice that day at Jamie's house. And we went over there, and who shows up but Big Chad Smith himself? Because apparently Jamie's family was friends with the Smith family and whatever. He ended up coming over to say hi. He came in and he actually sat down on the kit there in the living room and played a bunch by himself, and then walked over to my little contraption and like beat on it a little bit. He's like, "Oh man, that's pretty sweet." And then that night is when he was gonna go to McCourt's Music. It was either that night or the following night, doesn't matter. So we show up there, me and the kids from the school newspaper, and the place was packed. There was tons of people in this music store. He stands up and he says like, this drum solo is dedicated to all the drummers that came before me and blah, blah, blah. He's like kind of emotional actually about it. He sat down and he plays this drum solo. They have a little Q&A after that. Somebody's like, "Hey Chad, you got any new tattoos, man?" "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do." Pulls his pants down and he's holding his junk like this. And he's got his pants all the way to the ground, and he's got this gigantic blue whale on the side of his thigh. The girl who I'm with from the school newspaper, "He's not wearing any underwear." But then I have to explain to her why rock stars don't have to wear underwear. Really not expected to. So he pulls his pants back up, takes a couple more questions, and then before we can even get in there to get an interview with him for our school newspaper, he slides out the back door and he was gone. Never did get the interview, but I did get to meet him twice. Once there at the music store, and once at my friend's house, where we got to see him play a private drum solo, just for us. A Red Hot Chili Peppers. Tune in next time. One of the weird things about Chad Smith is, I don't have a certain thing in mind necessarily about how somebody's supposed to act as a rock star, but he does not seem like he fits in with that band, with those guys. Whatever. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really like the band that much. Chad Smith is a super cool guy. He's super nice. Maybe that's why he doesn't seem to fit in there, because he seems more down to earth than the other guys. I don't know. The other thing about Chad Smith is, right after Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic came out, Modern Drummer magazine always has a way of focusing on the drummer in the band who's on the top of the charts right now. And there's some logic to that. That's understandable. But, Chad Smith got really, really blown up as the best drummer in the world, when all that shit was going down. And specifically this funk category every year, the best funk drummer, the best jazz drummer, best rock drummer. Chad Smith wins the best funk drummer of the year, the best, and it just seems weird. I don't want to take anything away from him because he's a good drummer. He's a good funk drummer. Maybe he's a great funk drummer. He's not the best fucking drummer of all time or of the 90s, but he's a better drummer than me. He's managed to make a great career, make a shitload of money, and tour the world doing what he loves to do, playing in front of millions of people.